Well, you can always depend on the Colorado Rockies to be a nice little palate cleanser. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. My name's Ryan Bershinger. She's Monse Bolaños. Let's waste no time. Let's get right into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodger Zone.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, so we had some slipping there by the Dodgers, and then the Colorado Rockies come into town, and at least their AAA affiliate came into town. And
someone showed up. I'm not sure which roster showed up, but someone showed up.
Right. Man, I feel bad for Rockies fans because the product that is on the field for that team is atrocious. And that goes straight up to their ownership is the reason why. Kyle Farmer is batting cleanup for them. And I was at the game on Monday night. I didn't know that Kyle Farmer was still in the league. And not only is he in the league, he's batting in the middle of the Rockies lineup. And did pretty well. Hey, I'm not trying to bash Kyle Farmer. He had a good series. So I don't want to get on him. But good for you, Kyle.
It just is telling of the story of the Rockies. That's just all it is. And it sucks for the fans. I feel like, for the past couple of seasons, we've heard a lot of shit about A's, right? Ownership and Oakland and all of that. And in reality, it's like Colorado should also feel that way. Like they don't, it seems like the ownership just doesn't care and it's just going through the motions. And it's a little bit more embarrassing because of the division they're in,
which I think is a good point. And we should start there because the NL West is wild to start the season. The Dodgers by win percentage are third in the division. They have the same amount of wins as the Padres, but they played a couple more games. And the Giants are second despite having one less win. Their win percentage is better. And the Dodgers are there in third. And these are also the three best win percentages in all of baseball right now. And to add to it, the Diamondbacks in fourth, if they were in the American League, they would be tied for the best record in the American League right now. So it's obviously the standings in April don't matter. It's wild to talk about them, but I think it is really important to highlight these things to contextualize just what is going on in the NL West and in the majors as a whole right now.
Absolutely. To think that the Diamondbacks would be top division in the other league is nuts because they're fourth in ours and fighting tooth and nail. But this is a good thing, Ryan. It is a good thing for the Dodgers that the competition is so high in our division. First, it's always better when the Giants are good. When the Giants suck, it's not fun. There's a rivalry there that has gone dead because when you suck, then the rivalry is no longer fun, which is why the Padres have kind of risen to a little bit of a rivalry with the Dodgers. I think it has to do because the Giants have just been bad for so many years after being so good for so many years, right? And so it's always better when the Giants are good. Also, I think a championship team like the Dodgers that came out to an 8-0 start, maybe they needed a little bit of an early reality check that it's no, there's a lot of good baseball teams out there. You may be the best, especially on paper, probably, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy trip to the World Series this year. And it's nice that they're getting this wake-up call already. You can't take it easy. I know, like you just said, the standings don't matter in April. They truly don't. But come September, and you're thinking about those games in April that maybe you could have won, you're like, damn, those standings all of a sudden did matter. But it's early. It's early. The journey is long, but it's a good thing. It's a nice wake-up call to have early on with this very talented roster that still should go far, but they're aware, there's a lot of good out there. There's a lot of good out there, and they happen to be in our division.
Yes. And to speaking of people within our division, I want to bring up these couple quotes from members of the Diamondbacks that came out today, courtesy of our friends at DodgerBlue.com. Do a great job of covering the Dodgers. So I just want to read some of these quotes because I think they do a great job of representing just the way the Dodgers should be viewed in general in baseball right now. First, Merrill Kelly, who says, I think there's just a lot of nuances that go on in baseball. In the other sports, it's like if you have a more talented team in the NFL or purely more talent in the NBA, 9 times out of 10, you're going to beat the other team. Randall Grichuk says, do they have the upper hand on paper going into most series? I would say, yeah, but it's baseball. Any night anybody might be feeling not like themselves on the mound or in the box, and literally anybody has a chance any night. Joe Mantiply says, obviously they're really good players, but there's pressure that comes with that. They're expected to win every night. If they go on a 4-game losing streak, it's going to be like everything is going up in flames. Everyone's going to say, what's going on? Pressure makes everything a little harder to deal with. I think that these are spot-on statements by these guys, especially what Mantiply says there at the end, because that's what we just saw with Dodger fans, right? They had a skid in the week prior to this one, where in Philly and in Washington, things didn't go well. And suddenly it's like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Maybe this team has a ton of issues that we're just overlooking. But they do a really good job of explaining, like, hey, you kind of throw up your hands and say that's baseball sometimes, right? Because on any given night, anybody can win in the league because anything can happen. Juan Soto went 0 for 5 yesterday, and people on WFAN want to kill him. Like it is, they already want the money back. It's getting wild. He's Juan Soto, like, and that will happen. Guys will have stretches where they just don't produce. For the Dodgers going in and really through this series, still with the Rockies, the back part of the lineup had multiple times where they struggled. I was at the game tonight, and we'll talk about some things that I experienced at the game. But on Monday night, it was Shohei, it was Mookie, it was Freddie, and that was it. That was all they needed. Those guys did all the producing. They drove in all 5 runs that night. The rest of the lineup did absolutely nothing. And that has been really what we've seen much of this season when the offense is not producing. It's because that back half of the lineup. Ohtani finally is getting RBIs. He got some last night outside of his gigantic home run. He was able to actually come up and drive in runs later on in the game because people finally were getting on base for him. Andy Pa has gone on base a couple times. Chris Taylor had a good series against the Rockies. Like Austin Barnes had a couple hits. So when that back part of the lineup produces, these guys are totally fine. The offense can run as normal. But to close the point on what these guys are saying, that's kind of what the expectations are with this team is, of course, they have the best team on paper. And in every other sport, the best team on paper typically pretty easily wins. The Dodgers did just win, and they should do it again. But of course, anything can happen, and sometimes you'll just have weird stretches where the team just kind of disappears.
Yep. Yeah. Those quotes are just, they're so, like, they're not talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're spot on about it. And it's the truth. So it's like, you're right, guys. Any day somebody can have a bad game. And if it's your pitcher and your bats go cold, or like your later bats go cold, that's real shitty. Now, I'm happy to see that Andy Pajes and Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes did some stuff against the Rockies, but we have to keep in mind that it is the Rockies, right? And so it's like, I hope it gives them a little bit of a spark. I do hope it, like, a little bit of just like, you're good. You saw the field. You made some good plays. You made contact. Now keep that going. Keep it going, because we're definitely going to need them throughout the season. It's so early, and you can only imagine, what minor injuries will happen here and there that are going to cause people to fill in holes. And I'm glad to see them that they did well, but it was the Rockies, and so we have to also keep that in mind. Like keep a level-headed and also keep that in mind.
The Rockies, they somehow still have a rotation of German Marquez, Kyle Freeland, and Antonio Senzatella, who I swear this has been their rotation for the last 15 years. Like I don't know what has happened. I'm waiting for Ubaldo Jimenez to come out at this point. Like it's the same rotation they've had since forever. They cannot for the life of them bring in any pitchers from out anywhere else. And when guys are drafted there, I guess they're kind of stuck because they're like, all right, I guess, well, I'll just keep pitching in Coors then because that's what I have to do now.
Do you think that's part of a reason why maybe pitchers don't want to go to Colorado because of how much pitching is done maybe at Coors, and that is a place for hitters? Like
100%.
It's a tough place to accept going as a pitcher. Like I feel like that has to be a part of it. I mean, obviously, you offer enough money, I think maybe anyone will go. But Coors Field is definitely a place for hitters, so they thrive.
Yeah, the only way they could bring in a free agent pitcher if it's somebody who's already gotten paid in their career. Like, let's say Jacob deGrom became a free agent again. They would have to throw money at him because he's already gotten paid. They can't bring in a young guy who was still trying to get his payday soon enough. He comes in, his numbers will inflate like crazy, and suddenly he's lost tens of millions of dollars because of it. So
absolutely. You're on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's God, it is tough for them. I meant to look this up. I believe Chris Bryant is still on that team. I think he's just hurt.
No, I thought so too.
And I think about 80% of their payroll goes to Chris Bryant. He again, that's a guy who they had to throw money at somebody to bring them in. So I understand it from that perspective, but at the same time, like, they should be able to bring in guys who are younger hitters who haven't gotten paid and are able to come in and build their power numbers, and then they can get paid elsewhere. But they don't have any of that right now. Nolan Jones was one of their best players, and they traded him for nothing like a week before the season started. Like, I don't understand the way that franchise operates.
I said it. It's like they're just going through the motions. They're just happy to be here.
Yeah.
They're just happy to be here.
Truly.
They're like, we're fine. We're chilling.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's still a Rocky. Confirmed.
Way to go, Chris. He's just chilling in Denver collecting a paycheck.
But it may come to an end soon because of an injury that took course. So that's what's going on.
Okay.
Injury that they may have taken a turn. But he's still there. And yes, the Rockies are just going through the motions. They're just happy to be around.
It's like truly a AAA team. The what they put out on a daily basis is a AAA, and they have 3 wins to start the season. It's rather embarrassing, but I don't need to be the one to tell any Rockies fan that. They know that they're miserable. When I was at the game on Monday, there was a Rocky fan actually sitting a couple seats away from me. The one that showed up to that game, and his commentary was like, at least we scored today. Like, he genuinely said that at one point, because they had just gone to San Diego,
and gone scoreless.
They were shut out every game of that series, which kind of, again, like, is showing where the Dodgers are at the moment. Like, those games were semi-competitive, even especially last night's ended up being competitive. And that's a really bad team that they were playing, a really bad team. But let's talk about last night, because Bobby Miller made his brief return to the majors. He's already back in AAA. He did so poorly that they sent him. They said, "Look, we don't know who we're calling up yet, but we know we're sending Bobby down today." It is sad to see what has happened to Bobby Miller, because he had tremendous potential. I'm one of those guys who still will not throw out everything with Bobby Miller. Hey, his first 2 innings, he looked pretty damn good. And then if you just ignore the 3rd inning where he was awful, he looked pretty damn good. So maybe he does have a future as a reliever. I don't know. That might be the answer at this point. But
look at how positive you are.
Yeah, I'm trying, Bobby. I'm trying for you. I really am. But man, you have made it so tough. I understand that having to bounce back and forth, especially early on in the season, might, not give the greatest headspace. And he said after the game, he knows he's better than that. I'm sure he is. But much of last season said that he wasn't. So I don't know. I I don't want to completely give up on Bobby yet. I know that I should. I'm aware that I should. Everyone knows that. Everyone has already. There's a slight bit, a tiny bit there.
It's funny. You're not the only one. It got away from him so fast. It spiraled out before his eyes. Because I agree. I didn't think he looked terrible in the first 2 innings. And there's fans on Twitter that were defending him. And they were like, he looked better. He looked better. Yes. It just didn't work out, but he looked better. So you are not alone. I swear I read so many fans kind of just saying, feeling the same way as you, that they're like, we're not ready to give up completely. He looked better. He looked like he had more control of his fastball, is what the fans were saying. And then it just got away so fast. And isn't that kind of how it was last year for him? Every time he got away fast.
And then he would never be able to pull it back in. He couldn't regain it at all.
And so that's not a good sign. No. That's what happened again. And it happened against the Rockies. They scored 7 runs. 7. And he was a big part of that reason.
Now, luckily, the Dodgers still won that game because first the offense exploded in the first inning. Shohei Ohtani hit a ball 890 feet, and it was awesome. Freddie Freeman has been on fire since coming back from his injury. That's been great. They batted around in the first inning. Everybody got a hit. It was wonderful. You're like, all right, great. The Dodgers offense is back. And then they scored 1 run over the next 8 innings. But that was all they needed because thankfully the bullpen has been very strong. Ben Kasparius has been excellent. Now I understand. Yes, he got shelled in that 16-0 game, which we've gone fittingly 16 minutes into this podcast without mentioning the 16-0 loss. That was us doing that in solidarity. So that of course, that was ugly. And Roki Sasaki pitched pretty well. He had a decent start in that game, and then Kasparius got hit real hard. Luis Garcia came in, he got hit hard, and then Miguel Rojas came in and pitched batting practice.
But he did different styles of pitchers. He did a little Kershaw, he did a little, Yamamoto. He tried.
And that was fun. And this is, by the way, the luxury of winning the World Series is he can do that. We're losing like crazy by double-digit runs, but hey, it's April. We just won the World Series. Let's go out and have some fun. Give the people a show. They paid for these tickets. You're already down 10-0 or whatever. So let Rojas go out there and dance on the mound. Do a full Savannah Bananas. Who gives a shit? Just
absolutely. I'm with you. Absolutely. I'm with you. Once it becomes a non-competitive game, when it gets that far away, you have to give the fans some fun. Absolutely. Because then what are you sticking around for, a blowout? Nobody wants to see a blowout. Even sometimes you don't want to see your own team blowing someone out. You're just this is boring. So entertainment, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. But of course, in that game, Ben Kasparius gave up 6 runs. Now, that gives him 7 earned runs on the season. So if you take out that one outing, Kasparius has been phenomenal. You just take that out, and luckily he won the game for the Dodgers last night. His work in relief, and he has done that throughout the season thus far. And he's become a better young pitcher than Bobby Miller, than Landon Knack. These are things that we didn't really see. Ben kind of came up out of nowhere, and he has been a saving grace in that bullpen. I mean, the bullpen overall has been great. But he's been a saving grace in the sense that when guys are getting shelled early on, he can come in and put the fire out for multiple innings, and that's incredibly valuable to have in the pen. So, well done, Ben.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate it.
Ding for him. That is a ding for Ben Kasparius. We'll bring in another ding. Let's give a ding to Jack Dreyer, who has become phenomenal. This is. Okay, if you pull up Jack Dreyer's Baseball Savant, I have to look at this. Just so everyone knows, he is currently in the 100th percentile in expected batting average, the 99th percentile in expected ERA, 97th percentile in hard hit percentage. He has been one of the best relievers in baseball to start the season, and he came up out of nowhere. So again, this has been a huge help. The pen as a whole has still been very strong. Jack doesn't need to throw high leverage innings, so he's really developing his stuff very nicely, and he eventually will get another ding for Jack Dreyer.
Wow, I'm so popular
Bring him on home.
Goodness gracious, sorry, y'all.
But yes, Ben Casparius and Jack Dreyer, the unsung heroes of this bullpen, which again, the bullpen as a whole has been very strong. There has been a couple of weak spots though, and this is something I wanted to bring up about the game I went to on Monday night. So Dustin May started that game. He pitched 6 excellent innings. He should have had 6 scoreless. Max kind of booted a ball he was going to his right on it, and then eventually that run came around to score. But otherwise, yeah, a flawless outing from Dustin May, who again has really been excellent to start this year. His stuff is spot on. This is really exciting to see. And then at the top of the 7th, the bottom of the 6th ends. And then the call to the bullpen graphic comes up. And I hear this shrill, collective, high-pitched noise. And I'm like, okay, is this the sound of a phone ringing? Because the graphic is the call to the bullpen. It's got the phone with a cord on it. I'm like, oh, they're pumping in sound of a phone ringing, I guess. And then the PA announcer says, now pitching Anthony Banda. And then I hear that shrill noise even louder. And I go, oh, I see what's going on. This is wild. The way that, listen, I have been to a handful of concerts in my life that have been attended by predominantly women.
Yes.
And this sound that I hear is the exact sound that I hear at those concerts.
Absolutely.
I have never heard that during a baseball game ever. Not in Dodger Stadium, not anywhere. Wow.
I told you about that.
I didn't take it that seriously. I didn't realize it was like that.
Listen, and it's crazy because like those ladies are probably not paying attention to the game. The minute that they know it's Anthony Banda, oh wow, they all of a sudden are Dodgers' #1 fan. All of a sudden, they're probably not paying attention until they get that. No, it's a thing. It is unreal, and like maybe you just have to be there. Maybe like because some of the games, I'm wondering if I have how high I have the volume on because I feel like you don't get that experience at home when it goes out there. But when you're at this, it is like it's a pitch. It is it is a scream. It's a scream and not like a cheer. Like it's a scream, Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts.
It is visceral and raw, and everyone hits the exact same note. I am like, wow. Okay. Hey, good on you.
He's like a rock star. He's like a rock star. Yeah.
And then he gave up 2 runs to the Rockies. Apparently, it's not helping because unfortunately, he's not been as sharp to start the season. But I did have this thought after that too, and this is serious analysis I'm about to give. Okay, we talk about all the time how like the Dodgers do take into account the way that the organization views a player, the way that the fan base views a player when they keep him around or bring him back even. We've seen that with Kike. Chris Taylor will serve the rest of his contract here. And listen, he had a good week. I don't want to keep bashing Chris Taylor. He did have a good week. Austin Barnes is still employed by the Dodgers, even though they can have anybody be their backup catcher. He's been there for years past his due. I have to wonder, has Anthony Banda reached a point in the fan base where the Dodgers just they won't release him? The fans love him too much. They'll have him as the last arm in the bullpen because he's that severe of a fan favorite. Because Anthony he's had a wild career. He's bounced around a ton. This is like his 8th or 9th team. He was a starter at one point. He's now just a reliever. He was, of course, like DFA'd, I think, by the Phillies last season. That's how the Dodgers got him. He's he has the career arc of a journeyman reliever who occasionally will catch fire and find a role in a pen, but with that career arc comes the fact that the regression is going to hit hard at some point, and at some point this season he's going to be unusable out of the pen. But I have to wonder if, because this is a world championship team, the man now has his ring and he's loved by the fan base, is it possible the Dodgers just simply will keep him in the bullpen despite everything? I honestly think they might.
Absolutely. We literally have seen them do this. They do listen to the fans. I agree. Yeah. And I think they're going to keep him as long and just sit there. It's okay. Yeah. He'll be the last one on the roster listed. And maybe we don't even have to use you. But when we do use you, it'll be good. The ladies will be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ladies will be happy.
Listen, you got to keep the women happy. So
you really do. You really do.
Let's. Yeah. Why not? No, he's the last guy in the pen. It's fine.
They're going to be the ones telling their boyfriends and husbands that they want to go to Dodger games. And then they're going to be like, why? Anthony Banda is probably going to pitch today. It's a bullpen
game. They're playing the Rockies. He'll probably get some work in.
Let's go.
All right. Well, the one other thing I wanted to mention about the Monday night game, it was a packed game. Yes. Of course, it was a Hello Kitty night, so it was a packed game.
Yes,
even though they're playing the Rockies on a weeknight, you best believe they're going to give out Hello Kitty. So that's whenever the A's come to town next, that'll be the other one.
Absolutely.
So I had to. It was quite a trek to get to the seats just from where we parked. I always come through the Academy entrance. Regardless of where I'm sitting. And I realized maybe I should start to like actually strategize that a bit, but I just don't. I just do that. So we're going through the stadium, and we wanted to get the Flamin' Hot Elote, the new Cheeto Elote, at the Flamin' Hot quarters on the field level, back near the left field foul pole. So we got in line there before going up. Our seats were in reserve. More towards the middle, kind of first base. And so we go, and unfortunately, by the time we get to the front, even though this is still before first pitch, they ran out of elote, like a couple people in front of us. So we did not get the elote, which was very disappointing. It's a hot commodity.
It's not the same item. One of my coworkers, there's a new dessert, and I can't think of what it is, but there's a new dessert that he went to get. And then he's like, I got there like early. And then they were like, hey, like, we don't have it ready. Come back in like 30 minutes. And so he says he went, he left, and he's like, all right. And then he came back, and there was already a line building up for this item. So he gets in line. When he gets to the front, they tell him they're out. And he was like, I almost lost it. And he was so mad because he's like, they told me come back in 30 minutes. So I left. And so then I came back, and there was a line, and he got there, and they were of whatever this, I can't think of it, but it's a new dessert because I know where he went. That's usually our dessert place on field level, but opposite of where you were, just on the other side by the third base side. Okay. No, you were by the third base side. This is by the first base side. Yeah. Right? Okay. Flamin' Hot was by the Flamin' Hot is, literally just on the opposite of that same area. That's where the desserts are.
So that's still holding out. Want to try the elote, but since we stood in the line, I'm like, okay, well, I got the Flamin' Hot nachos, the Hellman nachos, and these things are loaded. It's like a chili and cheese, and jalapenos, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And it is covered. It is drenched, which is as it should be. It's great.
Yes.
So we take this back, take this up to the reserve level, go around the outside, come all the way through to eventually where our seats are. We come down to the seats. The game's just starting. I sit down after, because we got there pretty early. So I've been up and walking for an hour and a half. And I'm like, all right, good. I'm going to settle in here. Sit down. Bless you. So I sit down, and I'm like, I don't have a fork. I don't. This is a massive, just completely drenched nachos, and I'm like, all right, well, I got all the. I'm not getting back up, so I just dig in with my hands, and I'm like, screw it. I have some napkins. So I ate about half of it, and for like an inning, yeah, I'm going, and eventually I'm like, I'm gonna go get a fork because this is a mess. Like this is awful. Listen, I am partially to blame. Like, I should have at some point stopped and grabbed a fork. I should have done that.
Yeah.
But why didn't they give me one? why
It was probably right there.
That's the thing. I then went up and went to. It took me like 4 or 5 concession stands until I found forks. Like a bunch of them just didn't have any forks out, and so I had to go a couple sections down to eventually find a fork. So that's my gripe. Please give me a damn fork. That's
I bet you the forks were near that location.
They probably were.
Yes. They're not going to put forks next to the pizza because I know there's pizza on reserve. So I know I'm not going to put the forks there, Ryan. You should have grabbed a damn fork. Don't get all mad. All right. At the operational side of Dodgers food here. Right there. We walked away.
Yeah, probably.
We have popcorn, sir. We don't have forks here.
Go up to the beer cart. You guys have a fork. No.
As you're all like gross with your chili
just like
fingers and like hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
Well done. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Overall though, great time. It was a fun game. Got to see that was actually the first time I've seen Ohtani homer in person. So that was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. He almost homered 3 times that day. He flat out to the wall twice.
Yeah.
So, and the time I was filming was not the home run. It was the one that was caught literally at the wall. And I'm like, damn it. It was like a 3-2 count too. So I filmed like the entire at bat, and then eventually flies out to the wall. I'm like,
I'm sure I have tons of little small clips of Ohtani doing nothing and striking out because you never know when he's going to do it.
Exactly.
But you just record, hope for the best.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, if you were at the game last night, you're recording when he hit that ball 755 feet. Yeah, incredible. All right, so the Dodgers next week play they're at the Rangers this weekend, and then they play the Cubs for 2 games because apparently this season the Dodgers play the Cubs every week.
Yeah, it's that way.
It is 162 game season, 81 against the Cubs. So I don't know what's going on. I got to give the Chicago Cubs need to be watched out because look at what they've done this season. They are, again, standings don't matter, but I think again that the standings here really represent just what is going on with this team.
Absolutely.
The Cubs are on the top of the NL Central. They're, I think, 12-9 at the moment.
I'll let you.
They have played the Dodgers 5 times, the Padres 6 times, the Diamondbacks 4 times. I think, I don't think they played the Giants yet. They played the Rangers 3 times as well.
So they've had a heavy schedule.
Yeah, and they have the best record in their division despite that. They've played 2 teams with better records than them. The 2 of the best teams in baseball to start the season. They played a team that's tied for the American League lead in the Rangers, a team that has just as good of a record in the Diamondbacks. And they've come out of that with a winning record. So this Cubs team is really good. You're they should, especially in that division, they should win that division pretty easily. So good on you, Chicago. There's something there to look out for. But yeah, I think it's rather fascinating that they faced a gauntlet to start the season and they've done incredibly well.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And they crushed the Padres 16-1.
Yeah.
So literally, like they're winning and they're winning in style. Like a lot of high scoring wins. Good job for you.
Yeah. And so like that's why too, with the Dodgers having just played them, keep in mind with the Dodgers like slightly struggling, losing 2 out of those 3. They're facing a team that's been battle tested already to start the season.
Yeah.
And that Sunday night game, the Dodgers could have easily won. Pete Crow Armstrong hit a couple home runs and Michael Busch homered, and then that was it. Yamamoto pitched very well, but the offense wasn't able to pick him up against somebody named Ben Brown. So hey, but there's been signs of life. Again, last night was a good start for the Dodger offense. Things are turning around a little bit. Max Muncy, who I didn't realize still hasn't homered yet this season, he said after the game last night, according to friend of the show Blake Williams with Dodger Blue, he said something about how prior to the season and going through spring training, he's been working on hitting more grounders and line drives. Why, Max?
Yeah, why?
Why would you do that?
You're not needed to do that. That's not why you stay on the roster.
No.
You stay on the roster because we know you're either going to strike out or hit a home run.
Yeah.
But you're going to hit the home run.
Yeah.
He's done it in big moments,
Mm-hmm.
So why?
Yeah. So I think that he, after the first couple of weeks, was like, okay, you know what? Maybe not the best idea to try to change things up. So he's gotten a couple hits the last few nights, and things are starting to look a little better for him. So I'd expect him to pick things up soon.
Okay. Well, I still don't understand why, but I guess it gives a bit of an explanation. I just don't understand. I don't know. I don't know if you were trying to open up your game a little bit, have more of a game at the plate. But again, your game is the reason you're on the roster.
Yeah.
The reason you have maintained a starting third base position for the Dodgers when you shouldn't be is because we know you're going to hit home runs.
Yeah.
We don't want a grounder from you.
No.
What? That's so weird. That's weird. I wonder who told him that, why he decided to do that. Yeah. But I guess that makes sense. And all right. Let's see how quickly it changes now.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's something to watch in the week coming up here. Again, they've got some stiff competition in the coming days, the Rangers and Cubs. So let's see how the Dodgers come out of that, how they respond if the offense does start to pick things up. For Bo Benson, who, again, has not been kicked off the show, he is still very much a host on this show. There's just a lot of moving parts going on right now. We have a coworker on paternity leave where it was already a logistical nightmare to try to find the time for the 3 of us to come together. And but hey, take your paternity leave if it's offered. I am not bashing paternity leave in any way. Absolutely do that. Okay, that is valuable time, and if your company is going to pay you to not be at work, you do it. You do that every time.
Absolutely.
All right. So for Monse Bolaños, my name is Ryan Bershinger. You can follow us on Twitter at SickPod Dodgers. You can, of course, follow us here on YouTube, the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. You can find the audio form on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time. Thank you very much, as always, for checking this out. Domo arigato, everyone. Enjoy the coming week.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, The Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.